Welcome back. Let's dive into some cricket because we are being treated to some spectacular cricket at the moment. And the Proteas women, well, we've seen both sides of that coin. They've shown some incredible fight and resilience throughout this World Cup. Some brilliant individual performances and the team clicking. From a tough start to an inspiring run of victories that certainly reignited belief across South Africa. They are now into the crunch and they have proven their ability to bounce back when it matters most. And they're going to need that. They are just a step away from the final. And of course, standing in their way, a familiar opponent, England. Oh, no strangers to the space. Joining us to preview this blockbuster semi, Warren LaRue. So much to chew on, my friend. So much to chew on. First of all, well done. You kind of called it. And not in the best way possible. Dare I ask what went wrong against a team? Obviously, we expected them to do well, to set a great total. So was it as much as losing the coin toss? Or did everything fail for us? Talk us through that Australia loss.
Graham, firstly, thanks again for having me on the show.
Love having you here, dude.
Look, it came down to our struggles against spin, again, unfortunately. Look, full credit to Alana King, 7 for 18. Career best figures.
That's the best of any Aussie bowler, right?
Best figures at a Women's World Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if Shane Warne has done something like that, to be honest.
No, look, she's a remarkable talent, so you've got to take your hat off to her. But again, the main thing is just our struggles to spin. For me, the most disappointing aspect wasn't necessarily being bowled out for 97 even. It was just the fact that we couldn't get through 25 overs, because I've said it so often, if we can just get through the power play, even if we're batting at a very low economy rate, if we can keep wickets at the back end, it is so essential because we've seen our middle order really perform if we just have wickets.
If we've got those 50, it's almost just a 50-run cushion. It doesn't need to be a lot. Like you say, there can be as much as 2 wickets just holding on.
Exactly.
Is this the loss that we wanted? And I know I can say that loosely, obviously, but we do like a bounce back. We do like to pick ourselves back up and have that kind of focus. We've proven it in this World Cup. So if you were going to lose one, this would be the one to do it. But then what if we lose the toss today?
Yeah, here we go again with the toss. No, look,
and I hate to oversimplify it, but this has been the algorithm of this World Cup, right?
No, it's so true. And the main thing is, look, you must win the toss and actually know what to do.
There we go. Make a choice.
The main pattern that we've seen is that teams who are batting dominant, once they chase, it's actually relatively easy. Whether it's 280, 290, which is a big total. I mean, we saw India post 320 against Australia. One would have thought, geez, that's
easy
more than
peasy,
enough.
Yeah.
And Oz went and won that. So that toss is absolutely essential. But as I say, the main thing for us is just not to panic today. Even if we do lose the toss and we do get off to a slow start, I'll say it again, that middle order is so essential for us. They score so freely towards the back end. Nadine de Klerk, if she's coming in at 8, and she can strike at 150 strike rates, there really shouldn't be too many worries. But one thing that we do know is England are going to absolutely bombard us with spin.
That was going to be my next question, because we've done really well shoring up our own attack in that space. So kudos to our management for preparing the girls well. We could have done with maybe a few more balls in the nets, though, when it comes to the spin. I know we just don't have tracks like that back home to prepare on. So with that being said, there's nothing we can do about it now. What is the mindset then? What do you as a coach say to these ladies? Because they're a kind of an expressive team that you need to have the confidence to go out there and do it. So you don't want them to be thinking about the mistakes that they've made. But this is a tough one. So how do we approach the batting for today, regardless of whether we win the toss or not?
Yeah. I mean, look, Graham, we've got so much experience in that lineup.
Depth now, yeah.
I can sit here and say what they have to do. They know what they have to do. It's just patience within the first 20 overs. And the main thing is, I mean, looking at the stats, we lost, obviously, Alana King took 7 for 18, as we discussed. We lost 8 wickets in total to spin of the 10 in our last game. If we include the England result, where we were bowled out for 69, we lost 15 wickets of our 20 wickets to spin. So it doesn't make for pretty reading. But I'll say it again. Today, what also could happen is we saw Sophie Eccleston in the last game against New Zealand. She's been England's strike bowler, by far their best spinner for the past 8 years.
Decade, yeah.
She's actually picked up a shoulder injury, so it's a race against time for her fitness. If she is fit, will she be at 100% is the other question. So again, if she doesn't play, we mustn't think, we're off the hook here, because they're still going to bring on part-time spinners. regardless, because they've seen...
They know the gap, yeah.
They've seen our struggles against spin. So, again, just patience within the first 20 to 25 overs and leave it to our middle order who have performed under pressure so many times throughout this World Cup.
And right now I can hear Laura saying, hold my beer, and just stepping up, because I think our captain, fantastic, she hasn't had her say just yet. And we can talk about Nadine, we can talk about Marizanne, all of these amazing players, but I think she is still at the core there. In your heart of hearts, now that we are entering into the knockout phase, how are you feeling about who's going to be in that final and who has earned the right to take this title? I'm still backing the Proteas ladies. I think this is just the kind of wake-up call that they respond to. So that's where my heart is. How are you feeling?
Graham, what I will say is we are the complete underdogs, which is a tag I think we love to have.
Bring it on. Yeah.
Every single time we've had an underdog tag, be it in rugby or cricket, we've always really stepped up to the plate. So again, look, India are playing Australia tomorrow. I would love for India to do us a favour, because I think we'd much rather play India in the final. Can you imagine beating India in that final?
Oh, man.
It would be such an incredible experience. I mean, look, England today are going to be very, very tricky, but if we can just nullify that spin bowling attack in the first 10 to 20 overs, I keep bringing up the first 10 to 20.
Yeah, but it's key.
But that original power play, what we've seen is when we lose our wickets early, we sometimes go into a panic. We've seen it against England and Australia respectively. So just patience. In the first
that's when we lose those crucial runs, that little cushion
and
that we need.
It tends to happen just because teams, as I say, bowl spin in that first 10, and they know that, what the Proteas women, if they're not batting at extremely high strike rate or run rate, they do tend to take that extra risk and then lose a wicket. And then before we
just got to open that gap.
We're 50 for 5.
Oh, I have a feeling. Well, I can even hear the balls being struck in the nets right now. I don't think the girls have left the nets. They've been playing spin for the last 4 days, non-stop, eating it, sleeping it. Now these ladies are up for the challenge. They've proven their resilience, their absolute grit, and now it's time for those individuals to stand up and shine. But England taking on the Proteas ladies in the semi-final of the Cricket World Cup. We can't wait.